Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius' challenge frames today's blunt reality check. There are habits that drag even the best-looking man down to invisible status. Stay through all 7 because each is a razor edge, and the last holds the key to reversing the damage. While you watch, tap like, smash subscribe, and share your own story in the comments. Your honesty may rescue another brother from self-inflicted ugliness. Chapter 1. Constant complaining and negativity. Picture this: you meet a friend after work, and before the barista can steam the milk he's unloading, traffic was hell, the boss is clueless, the city's going downhill, and my back is killing me. 5 minutes later you feel your internal battery draining. Women detect that drain twice as fast because their evolutionary wiring screens partners for emotional climate. Chronic negativity predicts storms over any future home. Think of the modern world as a giant airport security line. Her subconscious scans every man's energy luggage for contraband attitudes. The Stoics treated adversity like raw iron destined for the forge of virtue. When you gripe instead of act, you announce to the gatekeeper you'd rather recite flight delays than pilot solutions. Imagine Lucretia, a hard-charging marketing director, walking into a cafe. 2 equally average-looking men await, one scrolling doom headlines, lips pinched, radiating grey cloud, the other mapping a mindstorm of ideas on a napkin. Which man becomes a landing strip for her imagination? The builder, because optimism signals stable shelter for her ambitions and potential offspring. Complaining vandalizes attractiveness at the micro level. Shoulders curl forward, protective posture of small prey. Voice shifts nasal, trapped air echoing trapped attitude. Micro-tension purses the mouth, etching premature lines that warn of perpetual dissatisfaction. Each physical cue screams insecurity louder than words. Start auditing your speech the way a trader audits losses. If you catch yourself venting, pivot to Stoic framing immediately, define the obstacle in neutral terms, list controllable actions, execute the simplest within an hour. Raging about skyrocketing rent? Download budgeting software tonight, map expenses, email a broker about house sharing tomorrow. Completing even tiny corrective steps floods dopamine designed to reward agency. Victim breath becomes oxygen of capability. Women register that chemical upgrade instantly. It glints through eye brightness, resonates in slower, more grounded cadence. Negativity poisons rooms like carbon monoxide, odorless until consciousness fades. Relationships suffocate when every dinner conversation spirals into complaint loops. Positivity rooted in action works like an oxygen mask on a depressurizing plane. You secure your own first, then help others breathe. Replace this client is impossible with I've drafted 3 new strategies, tell me which resonates. Swap nothing ever changes with I booked a meeting to propose change. You convert passive misery into active leadership. The shift is not just audible, it's visible. Body opens, shoulders square, chin rises slightly, hands move with directed calm rather than jittery irritation. That physiology transmits goodwill better than any compliment because it promises future steadiness. Train this habit like a physical drill. Daily, log 3 annoyances. For each, write 1 corrective action, stretch for back pain, podcast during commute, assert boundary with boss. Execute 1 within 24 hours. Next, record 3 gratitude anchors, warm shower pressure, co-worker's joke, the sharp click of well-tuned keyboard keys. Gratitude primes neural pathways to scan for solutions instead of threats. Within weeks you'll notice autopilot optimism, traffic stalls and you cue an audiobook, boss micromanages and you propose process clarity, city noise rises and you research noise-blocking curtains. Your mind becomes a machine for possibility. Women sense that machinery humming behind calm eyes and lean closer, subconsciously seeking its protective radius. Understand this isn't Pollyanna delusion. Stoic positivity acknowledges hardship but refuses helplessness. Marcus Aurelius wrote each dawn, "You will meet people meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, except they are kin." He pre-installed acceptance, preventing surprise from mutating into complaint. Build your own morning briefing. Tell yourself, commute may snarl, emails may pile, people may flake. I will respond, not react. When reality matches expectation, frustration finds no purchase. You remain unshaken. Unshaken men attract allies the way steady harbors attract ships during storms. Convert language to. Swap have to forget to. I have to finish this report becomes I get to sharpen my expertise. The verb swap reframes drudgery as privilege, flipping cortisol to dopamine. Your tone shifts, and with it, the micro-pauses women notice when deciding if conversation drains or sustains. Repetition wires new default pathways. Complaints without solutions are abdicated leadership. Solutions delivered calmly, even when small, transform setbacks into demonstrations of masculine grace. Choose grace. Choose the napkin sketch over the doom scroll. The world, and every perceptive woman in it, will breathe easier beside you. Chapter 2. Poor Health and Hygiene. Stoic warriors trained their bodies as vessels for reason. They understood that philosophy delivered through wheezing lungs and oily skin lacked credibility. Fast forward to the present, where the modern man often treats health like an optional upgrade rather than a foundational system requirement. You skip breakfast, inhale glazed donuts at the desk, and chase the sugar spike with double espresso. Your breath sour stings the air before you even say hello. Dandruff drifts onto shoulders like new fallen snow. Energy collapses by 3 o'clock, leaving you foggy and irritable. A woman's limbic system absorbs all of this in seconds and quietly files you under low resiliency, a poor bet for future caregiving roles. Attraction is biology's reward for signs of vitality, and neglect is a beacon pointing in the opposite direction. Slouching posture betrays a weakened posterior chain. Skin congested by processed food turns sallow. Circulation stagnates so complexion dulls. Eye whites yellow. Testosterone slumps, and confidence evacuates. Hygienic lapses announce deeper apathy. Untrimmed nails scratch during handshakes. Greasy hair gleams under bar lighting. A faint mildew odor from yesterday's damp towel lingers when you lean in to speak. The remedy is simple but ruthless. Tonight, audit your grocery cart under harsh fluorescent honesty and replace 70% of its contents with single-ingredient foods, oats, eggs, poultry, greens, berries, olive oil. Plan biannual dental cleanings and treat them with the gravity of financial audits. Gun disease tanks first impressions faster than outdated jeans. 3 times a week, program compound lifts, deadlifts, squats, rows, pushing progressive overload so muscles become reliable armor instead of decorative cloth hangers. Sleep at least 7 hours in a cool, blacked-out room. REM cycles regenerate growth hormone and neural plasticity no supplement can fake. Shower every morning and post-workout. Lather thoroughly behind ears, under nails, and around groin where bacteria party hardest. Equip a tongue scraper to erase coffee film and an alcohol-free mouthwash to freshen breath without nuking oral microbiome. Place a hygiene checklist on your bathroom mirror. Floss, moisturize, SPF, deodorant, cologne, 1 citrus and pine spritz, never a fog of teenage body spray. Repeat ritual until neural pathways automate and cleanliness becomes as unconscious as blinking. Results surface quickly. Within 4 days, hydrated skin regains a subtle glow. Within 2 weeks, breath stays neutral through afternoon meetings. Within a month, posture corrects as posterior chain wakes up. Testosterone climbs, wrists thicken, handshake grip firms, and shirts drape with purpose. A woman who greets you then smells eucalyptus fresh collar and sees clear eyes will subconsciously trust that your inner world mirrors your disciplined exterior. Stoics called this care of the hegemonicon, the ruling faculty. By stewarding the body, you sharpen the mind, proving you can manage the visible and, by extension, the invisible realms of finance, emotion, and relationship duty. Every neglected cell whispers insecurity, but every reinforced cell shouts silent allure, creating an embodied resume impossible to fake with words alone. Chapter 3. Being physically unkempt. Enter a hotel lobby wearing a shirt 2 sizes too big, cargo pockets sagging like overstuffed saddlebags, collar points curling like wilted leaves, and watch conversation doors slam before they even creak open. Ill-fitting clothes broadcast internal chaos. You either don't know your own shape or you don't respect the eyes of the society you walk through. Women decode that negligence instantly and project it onto future logistics. Children hustled late for school because dad misplaced the lunchboxes, bills drifting past due dates because statements disappeared in that same chaos, anniversaries forgotten under piles of laundry. Wrinkles in your cotton equal wrinkles in your strategic planning, pit stains whisper fear of judgment, stray pet hair says you never bothered to scan the battlefield before stepping out. One glance forces her brain to calculate psychic labor she'd need to pick up if she stood beside you. Stoic philosophy teaches you taxia, good order, as a visible extension of disciplined mind. Your wardrobe is your first formation. Before soldiers marched, Roman centurions inspected kit, sandals laced, armor polished, belt tight, all signs the legionary respected himself, his comrades, and the mission. That inspection begins with measurement. Treat the tailor's tape like a scalpel of self-knowledge. Shoulder width, chest, sleeve, inseam, waist, neck. Under bright light, purge ruthlessly, donate 80% of closet clutter that fails those numbers or your values. Keep only garments that support the campaign of your life. Next, narrow your palette to dependable neutrals, navy, charcoal, olive, stone, and deploy seasonal accessories, scarves, pocket squares, knit ties, for variety. Choose garments that skim, never strangle, your frame. Seams should kiss the edge of your shoulders, shirts should tuck without ballooning, trouser breaks should graze the shoe tops, not puddle like spilled fabric. Maintenance cements the discipline. Brush jackets before hanging to lift lint and dust. 10 strokes keep fibers alive 3 extra seasons. Steam shirts nightly so cotton relaxes into sharp lines. Let that hissing cloud remind you of a forger's quench. Insert cedar shoe trees the moment footwear comes off. They wick moisture and preserve shape while scenting the closet with quiet order. Rotate leather goods so soles breathe, conditioned twice a season to prevent cracks that mirror life's unaddressed stress fractures. Keep pocket-sized lint rollers by every exit. 10 seconds of vigilance prevents hours of silent judgment. Store belts rolled, not folded, to avoid permanent creases. Replace warped plastic hangers with sturdy wood, aligning shoulders at parade ground symmetry. Grooming locks the frame in place. Trim beard lines weekly, cheeks sharp, neckline clean, signaling you edit your story instead of letting it sprawl. Schedule a fade every 2 to 3 weeks, or at least bi-monthly, so your silhouette remains intentional from any angle. Clip nails before they fray, moisturize knuckles so handshakes feel like confidence, not sandpaper. Buff calluses lightly, they should reveal strength, not neglect. A dab of unscented balm tains eyebrow strays that throw off facial symmetry. Symmetry is subconsciously correlated with health and genetic quality. Clean jewelry, wedding band, signet, watch bezel, because griming crevices screams hidden corners of inattention. Texture and detail finish the message. An unpressed collar flops like indecision, a polished collar stay stands like conviction. Replace cracked phone cases, chipped glasses frames, and fraying watch straps. They share pocket visual space with your outfit and can sabotage an otherwise precise ensemble. Even your backpack or briefcase matters. Scuffed nylon says you're surviving, not thriving. Upgrade to structured canvas or vegetable tanned leather that ages with dignity. Treat it with balm, stitch tears immediately, and empty crumbs weekly. Maintain your vehicle with equal rigor, vacuum mats, polish dashboard, change oil on schedule. Chew ride once and understand whether your external world is a sanctuary or a salvage yard. Hygiene integrates with fabric. A fresh undershirt forms a defense line against sweat stains. Choose breathable merino in summer, cotton in winter. Launder whites with oxygen bleach to keep color optics bright. Yellowing signals sluggish habits. Ironing boards aren't relics, they're weapons. Learn correct stroke patterns, collar, yoke, sleeves, body. 48 seconds per shirt adds decades of respect to your appearance. If ironing bores you, stream lectures or audiobooks, training mind while refining cloth. Footwear is a paragraph all its own. Shoes sit at the literal foundation of your image. Invest in 3 pairs that alternate: brown leather brogues, black cap-toe Oxfords, minimalist white sneakers. Insert cedar trees after wear, wipe with damp cloth, polish monthly. Laces shouldn't fuzz at ends, replace them before they broadcast fray. Socks stay in the same tonal family as trousers unless purposefully contrasted, and never feature cartoon characters after college. Restore soles before they break. Reselling costs less than replacing and whispers fiscal wisdom. Your scent plays supporting melody. 1 or 2 signature colognes, citrus and cedar for day, smoky vetiver for evening, applied lightly to pulse points. Deodorant unscented, so notes harmonize. Breath neutral at minimum, mint fresh ideally, floss nightly, tongue scrape morning, dental checkups every 6 months. These olfactory signatures linger long after you exit a room, continuing conversation without words. All these micro-tasks are the drills of a Roman general aligning ranks before battle. Every press seam, polished boot, and hydrated cuticle reinforces command over environment. She sees a man who curates surfaces and imagines he will curate emotional exchanges with the same intentionality: clean, deliberate, safe. When you present yourself as ordered territory, you invite respect and minimize distraction, allowing character and competence to step forward unimpeded. In a world where first impressions form at Wi-Fi speed, looking composed is not vanity, it's tactical clarity, and clarity is irresistibly attractive. Chapter 4: Bad Attitude and Poor Manners. You sit down for dinner. The waiter mixes up appetizers, brings calamari instead of bruschetta. One man grins and says, "No worries, we'll give this a shot," maybe even thanks the server for hustling on a packed night. Another man stabs the air with a fork and spits, "Do you even read the ticket?" His face tightens, voice slices, energy sinks. In 3 seconds every observer, especially every woman, receives an unambiguous broadcast. If he weaponizes minor mistakes, imagine the artillery he'll roll out when life delivers real adversity: lost luggage, mortgage stress, a toddler's midnight fever. Rudeness hints at a fragile ego wrapped in spikes. It signals someone who can't regulate inner turbulence without bruising the nearest target. Stoic philosophers pursued catharotes, purity of intention, treating each interaction as a micro-arena for virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders to himself before dawn: greet annoyance with patience, greet ignorance with instruction, greet rudeness with steady calm, because every encounter is rehearsal for greater trials. Manners, then, are not quaint etiquette but social lubrication preventing friction fires. When you hold the door, say please, tip fairly, and thank service staff by name. You're not polishing a veneer, you're demonstrating governance of impulse and respect for the invisible scaffolding of society. Picture a crowded coffee shop on Monday. The barista misspells your name, calls out Marvin instead of Mervyn, hands you an oat milk latte instead of almond. The untrained ego flares. This is why nothing works anymore. A stoic mind notes the error, calmly clarifies, "I ordered almond, no rush, I'll wait," and uses the pause to breathe. Body language remains open, shoulders level, eyebrows neutral, half smile acknowledging the bustle. People in line unconsciously gravitate to that calm figure. chaos loses momentum around centered energy. Women onlookers store that data the way a bird logs safe nesting ground. Reliability is an aura, and courtesy is its visible wavelength. Bad attitude extends beyond obvious outbursts. It lives in eye-rolling when an elderly driver slows traffic, in sighs loud enough for strangers to hear, in the way a man talks about colleagues behind their backs. Entitlement kills charm faster than any physical flaw because it steals oxygen from shared spaces. Gratitude, on the other hand, revives the atmosphere even after errors. When a flight attendant spills soda on your jeans and you say, "Accidents happen, do you have napkins?" you lighten her load, set the cabin at ease, and show mastery under inconvenience. That single gesture often draws more authentic admiration than a six-figure watch flashed on the same plane. Women notice micro-gestures the way skilled investors read tick charts. They clock the nuanced pause when you let elders exit first, the gentle placement of your phone face down so notifications don't hijack conversation, the subtle lean-in when someone speaks softly. These cues telegraph emotional self-regulation, the bedrock of sustainable attraction. A man who manages small energies gracefully is presumed able to shepherd large energies, finances, family conflicts, health crises, without cracking. Attraction wired by evolution seeks that capacity because it promises a haven for future offspring and dreams. Consider the story of Cato the Younger, famed for incorruptible integrity. During heated Senate debates he addressed ideological enemies with strict decorum, refusing to descend into insults because he knew how quickly civilization erodes when leaders normalize contempt. Modern echoes appear when you decline online flame wars, when you correct a waitress gently rather than loudly, when you diffuse a parking lot misunderstanding with calm words instead of middle fingers. Politeness today is not weakness, it is advanced self-defense, shielding your energy from pointless skirmishes and signaling high social intelligence. Cultivating refined manners requires practice, not mere intention. Start with deliberate tone control, match volume to environment, lower pitch when tension rises. Study names, repeat them, spell them correctly, because remembering someone's name is micro-respect that multiplies goodwill. Keep a two-word mantra ready, thank you, deploy it when impulse pushes blame outward. Perform a nightly Stoic audit. Where did irritation leak today? Could tone have been kinder? What gratitude remained unsaid? Record answers, plan corrections, test again tomorrow. Improvement compounds. Adopt preemptive kindness rituals. When entering a ride-share, greet the driver, confirm destination, and ask how the day's traffic treated them. When grabbing coffee, square shoulders fully toward the cashier, make eye contact, articulate order without mumbling. In meetings, acknowledge peers' contributions before steering to your own point. These habits create social credit that cushions inevitable future missteps. People forgive errors from men who visibly respect them. Remember, too, the silent manners, punctuality, steady eye contact, uncluttered attire, minimal phone checking. Each signals you value the shared time more than your private whims. That valuation equates to respect, and respect is magnetic. When stress spikes, project deadline, lost keys, long queues, lower your tone instead of raising it. Slow your breathing, widen peripheral vision, speak one octave softer. This counterintuitive move calms your nervous system and, by mirror neurons, calms those around you. Master this, and you will be the anchor in storms, the man strangers gravitate toward when power flickers or escalators stall. She will sense that anchor instinctively, and her attraction will ride that current deeper than any scripted compliment could. Put simply, politeness is calculated strength. It is the quiet confidence that your worth isn't fragile, so you don't need to claw status from waiters or random drivers. Be gracious, and you model sovereign control. Be rude, and you reveal a kingdom in disarray. In the Stoic framework, every dinner order, Every traffic jam, every cashier mix-up is a training ground. Conquer those micro-battles and major wars, financial upsets, medical emergencies, family disputes will find you already armored in unshakable poise. Women notice, and they remember. Chapter 5. Floating through life with no goals. Ambitionlessness is invisible at first glance but blinding by the third date. She asks what you want 5 years from now: career, home, skill, contribution, and you shrug, "I haven't thought that far." Signal received, sailing with you means boarding a raft that drifts wherever tides push. Purpose, like magnetic north, pulls resources and allies. Absence of it repels both. Stoicism insists every creature fulfill its nature, and human nature is to advance. A lion without a hunt grows weak, a man without a direction grows dull. Begin tonight by drafting a personal constitution. On a blank page, write 3 guiding values, perhaps mastery, integrity, service, then expand each into quarterly targets. If mastery is a value, set a deadline to finish a Spanish novel unassisted. If integrity counts, outline saving goals that prove fiscal honesty to yourself. If service matters, commit to 1 Saturday a month mentoring teens. Once targets stand, reverse engineer weekly actions, 30 minutes of language flashcards before breakfast, automatic transfers to an investment account, calendar invites for the mentorship program. Mount the plan where eyes land daily: whiteboard, fridge, phone lock screen. Color code milestones so streaks of green reveal momentum and red squares reveal slippage. Visible progress fuels self-policing. No man enjoys erasing a triumph line because he overslept. Now tie ambition to narrative. When she visits and sees timeline charts on your wall, attraction surges, leadership potential crosses from abstract claim to tactile evidence. She imagines future problems encountering that same organized blueprint. Remember, ambition needn't roar skyscraper dreams, it must simply stride in a chosen direction. A man building a neighborhood garden, learning Bach cello suites, or restoring a 1987 Land Cruiser glows brighter than a man binge-watching his 9th series with glazed eyes. Action rewires posture, spine erect, gait decisive, speech concise, because the brain rewards forward motion with dopamine. You'll notice people offering help unprompted, a neighbor donates seedlings, a cellist offers tips, an engineer friend lends talk specs. Purpose acts like gravity, bending networks, skills, and mentors into orbit. If clarity wavers, deploy Stoic nightly review. Ask, did my behavior inch the vision forward? Why or why not? Adjust tomorrow before pillow cools. Over months your constitution upgrades, goals graduate, values refine, horizons widen. She watches you update the board, retire goals as achieved, and number new ones. That iterative ambition communicates one unspoken promise: life beside you will not stagnate. And that promise, more than veneers of charm or muscles or money, makes a woman lean in, because progress is the scent of safety wrapped in excitement. Drift dies in the face of deliberate movement. Chart your course and invite her to sail a vessel clearly bound for brighter shores. Chapter 6. Lack of sleep. You show up on a date with puffy lids, shadows under your eyes, skin slightly gray, attention bouncing like a ping-pong ball. You think your story of grinding till 3 a.m. makes you sound ambitious, but to her, it screams one word: instability. Stoics like Seneca understood that rhythm matters. He aligned his day with nature, not caffeine-fueled chaos. In the modern world, we treat sleep as negotiable, a luxury to be postponed. But it isn't. Sleep is not an indulgence, it's a foundational discipline. Lack of it doesn't just make you tired. It makes you look unstable, scattered, and less trustworthy. And women, whether consciously or unconsciously, read exhaustion as weakness in your structure. Every hour of missed sleep hits harder than you think. Your skin dulls because collagen production plummets. Your testosterone crashes, reducing muscle tone, increasing fat retention, and making you less physically magnetic. Insulin sensitivity drops, leading to energy crashes and poor food choices. Your cortisol rises, spiking irritability and making small frustrations feel like emotional earthquakes. Lack of sleep rewires your brain to seek quick reward and avoid long-term decisions, exactly what ruins confidence, clarity, and attraction. Sleep deprivation also kills charm. Your wit blunts. Your timing lags. Your facial expressions lose fluidity. Eye contact becomes inconsistent. Your ability to fully be there evaporates. And what's more noticeable than bad posture or stubble on your neck is a man who physically shows up but mentally checks out. She's not just clocking your face, she's clocking your presence. And when that presence is foggy, she instinctively looks elsewhere. Her biology demands stability. She's not just choosing who looks good on paper, she's choosing who'll stay composed through life's hardest seasons. If you can't keep yourself regulated over 8 hours of sleep, how will you handle parenthood, crisis, or legacy building? The Stoics weren't sleep scientists, but they were masters of control. And sleep is the gateway to all other self-mastery. Miss your sleep, and every habit you're building, from training to ambition to discipline, wobbles. Show up well-rested, and your body hums with control. That's why optimizing your sleep is non-negotiable. Treat it the way you treat a financial investment. Track it. Improve it. Protect it. Build a sleep ritual as seriously as your morning routine. Set your phone down at 9, blue light kills melatonin. Take magnesium glycinate or tart cherry juice 30 minutes before bed to boost recovery and calm the nervous system. Darken your room completely, black out curtains, sleep mask if needed. Drop the room temperature to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, cool air induces deeper rest. Use a sunrise alarm to nudge you awake instead of jarring your nervous system into cortisol mode. Create a habit of reviewing your sleep just like you would track representatives at the gym. Record wake quality, alert, foggy, energized, and treat each night like a lifting PR. Did you beat yesterday's depth, duration, or recovery markers? This mindset flips sleep from laziness into elite-level strategy. You'll begin to notice subtle changes, jawline tighter, bloat gone, thoughts crisp. She'll notice too, clearer eyes, steady laughter, conversation that flows without effort. Now your sleep isn't just a health flex, it's an attraction amplifier. Even more important, your ability to protect your sleep shows a boundary. It tells the world, I'm not accessible at all hours. I value recovery over late-night dopamine. Women see that boundary and relax. They know you won't burn yourself out trying to impress. You protect your peace, and by extension, you can protect hers. That's the ultimate green flag. And remember, sleep is not downtime, it's upgrade time. It's when your muscles repair, your brain defrags, your emotions recalibrate. It's when your testosterone regenerates, your creativity is reborn, and your immune system resets. Every time you trade scrolling or drinks for sleep, you're reinforcing a habit that makes you more magnetic, not tomorrow, but tonight. Every hour well slept tonight becomes attraction currency tomorrow. Women notice, even if they can't articulate it. They feel it in your gaze, your tone, your tempo. So tonight, set a reminder, cut screen time early. Set your room for rest. Take your supplements. Set the alarm, dim the lights, and honor the discipline that Stoics understood instinctively. If your sleep is strong, your foundation is unshakable. And a man with an unshakable foundation is never mistaken for anything less than high value. Sleep well. Wake better. Lead forward. Chapter 7, Heavy Alcohol or Substance Use. The nightclub closes. One man finishes his second beer, checks the time, tips generously, and calls a ride. Another man downs his sixth shot, stumbles into the cold, breath steaming with ethanol, eyes glassy, voice slurred. The bouncer watches. The bartender shakes her head. The woman he came with subtly steps back, instinctively calculating the risk, now walking beside her. In that instant, attraction flips to alarm. What once might have felt like edgy confidence has curdled into unpredictability. In evolutionary terms, the high-value provider just transformed into a potential liability. Excess alcohol and substance use is one of the fastest, most visible ways to erode your attractiveness, not because it signals fun, but because it betrays instability. Over time, the effects go deeper than the immediate embarrassment of sloppy behavior. The face begins to change. Broken capillaries rise around the nose, puffiness sets into the cheeks, sleep-deprived eyes dull behind swollen lids. Visceral fat accumulates around the gut, not just from empty calories, but from the way alcohol disrupts metabolic function and slows testosterone production. You stop moving like a man in command of his physiology. The Stoics practiced temperance not out of moral puritanism, but because they understood clearly a mind clouded by impulse cannot be trusted to navigate storms. Look at how drinking patterns sabotage long-term integrity. REM sleep, essential for recovery, cognition, and mood, plummets after even one heavy session. You wake up irritable, foggy, weak. That low-grade frustration makes you more likely to skip the gym, snap at colleagues, or ghost commitments. A single night of overindulgence becomes the kindling for 3 days of diminished discipline. If that cycle repeats weekly, the toll becomes visible not only in your body but in your consistency, your ambition, and ultimately, your self-respect. Run a cost audit. Tally how much alcohol or substances have silently stolen from you in the last month. Money spent on drinks, post-bender Uber rides, late-night fast food. Workouts skipped. Projects delayed. Apologies texted the morning after. Ideas forgotten. Relationships strained. Now calculate the real opportunity cost, what you could have built if those same hours were funneled into early morning runs, financial planning, clean eating, skill building, or deep sleep. Moderation proves mastery. Abstinence, if needed, proves courage. The Stoics didn't outlaw wine, they diluted it. They controlled intake to maintain clarity for dawn council, evening debates, and internal audits. In your modern life, this means choosing to exit the cycle and swap the chaos of overindulgence for the calm high of and discipline. Replace bar rituals with something that rewards your body, mind, and character. Try sunrise trail runs. Let the dopamine come from conquering the cold, not from clinking glasses. Trade vodka for hydration. Exchange drunken banter for the deep stillness of a good book under lamplight. Socialize in spaces that don't incentivize blackouts. Find climbing gyms, book salons, martial arts academies, and entrepreneurial meetups. You'll notice something shocking. There are other high-caliber men and women who also grew tired of wasting Sunday mornings nursing regret. There's laughter here, too, but it's grounded. It's earned. The conversations don't disappear with the bottle. They build. They deepen. They push your timeline forward. And women? Women notice. She sees you pass the drink without tension, hold your line with charm, and stay sharp while others wobble. That restraint becomes a form of power. It says, I don't need this to be interesting. It says, I choose control over chaos. She imagines a future with you not just through the lens of fun, but through the lens of safety. Through children sleeping peacefully in a home you protect. Through holidays unmarred by emotional outbursts. Through a partner she never has to babysit. Substance discipline is the ultimate proof of maturity, and maturity is magnetic. You'll see it within a week. Skin clears. Eyes brighten. Mood lifts. Your voice steadies. Even your scent changes. You regain sovereignty over your presence. Conversations become about real things again. Laughter sharpens. Wit returns. You stop shouting and start speaking. She hears it and leans closer. Substance discipline is the exclamation mark that completes every habit that came before. It protects your sleep. It preserves your goals. It sharpens your manners. It reinforces your hygiene. It amplifies your energy. It magnifies your presence. It is the master key because it proves you can resist what is easy and choose what is excellent. That alone makes you rare. So now, ask yourself, do you want to be forgettable, slurring apologies and laughing at things you'll regret? Or do you want to be remembered for the stillness in your eyes, the power in your restraint, the man who mastered not just the moment, but himself? You already know the answer. The only thing left is action. Drop the drink. Pick up the plan. And in 7 days, meet your reflection again. 7 habits, 7 mirrors, each one placed squarely in front of you tonight. Stare until what you see becomes impossible to excuse, then pivot from inspection to construction. Confidence is a brick-by-brick project, and every sunrise provides new mortar. Pick one habit before your head hits the pillow. Schedule its antidote in tomorrow's calendar. Lift at dawn, prep real food, press your shirt, write gratitude, lights out at 10, hydrate instead of drink, swap complaints for action steps. Track the shift for 7 days. Jot nightly notes, a single sentence is enough, kept promise to myself, felt a surge of quiet pride. 1 week from now, return to the comments and lay down your progress like a marker stone. Your win will ignite another man's first step, and his update will brace the next. That chain reaction is how ordinary timelines bend toward excellence. If this episode punched through complacency, hit like so the algorithm spreads the antidote. Subscribe for the next Stoic upgrade, and share this link with a friend still wondering why every room dims around him. Help him flip the switch. Remember Marcus Aurelius, the impediment to action advances action. Whatever habit pinched hardest tonight is exactly where you begin chiseling. You now hold the map. The only question left is how soon you move. Choose now, choose you. And watch how quickly the word ugly becomes a relic no one thinks to aim in your direction again.